There must be some mistake. My sister Karen stood up so fast her chair scraped against the floor. Her face was turning red. Her hands were shaking. But Mr. Henderson, the attorney, just looked at her calmly over his reading glasses. "There's no mistake, Mrs. Holloway. I have a second will. Your mother wrote it herself, and I'm afraid it changes everything." I sat frozen in my seat. After 61 years of being invisible, after a lifetime of watching my sister get everything she ever wanted, I was about to learn that my mother had seen me all along. My name is Susan. I'm 61 years old, and for as long as I can remember, I was the wrong daughter. Karen was born first, 3 years before me, and from the moment I arrived, it was clear I was competing for second place. Karen was beautiful. Blonde hair, blue eyes, perfect grades. She was homecoming queen at Jefferson High in 1978. I was the quiet one with mousy brown hair who sat in the back of class. "Why can't you be more like your sister?" Mama used to say. I heard that sentence so many times, I started believing it. Daddy tried to make up for it. He'd take me fishing on Saturday mornings, just the two of us. He'd tell me I was special in my own way. But Daddy died when I was 19. Heart attack, right there in the garage. And after that, it was just Mama and Karen against the world. I was just there. Karen got the college fund, all $40,000 of it. I got a part-time job at the grocery store and night classes at community college. Karen got the big wedding. Mama spent $25,000 on flowers and a dress and a reception at the country club. When I married my Tom, we had a backyard ceremony and a potluck dinner. Mama complained about the potato salad. Karen got the house down payment, $60,000, handed over like it was nothing. Tom and I saved for 7 years to buy our little place on Cedar Road. I never complained. What was the point? Karen was the golden child. That was just how it was. But here's the thing about golden children. They never stick around when things get hard. Mama started slowing down around 2015. She was 78 then. The arthritis made it hard for her to cook. The stairs became dangerous. She needed help. Karen lived 45 minutes away in a big house with a pool. She had a husband, Greg, who made good money in real estate. She had time. But when I called her about Mama, she always had excuses. "I've got a hair appointment, Susan. Greg and I are going to the lake this weekend. Can't you just handle it? You're right there in town." Right there in town. Like I didn't have a job, like I didn't have a husband, like my time meant nothing. So I handled it. For 9 years, I handled it. I drove Mama to every doctor's appointment. I picked up her prescriptions. I cleaned her house every Saturday. When she fell in the bathroom in 2019 and broke her hip, I was the one who slept in the hospital chair for 6 nights. Karen sent flowers. A $40 arrangement from the grocery store. The card said, "Get well soon, Mom. Love, Karen and Greg." She visited once, stayed for 20 minutes, complained about the parking. The dementia started in 2021, slowly at first, then faster. Mama forgot where she put things. Then she forgot what year it was. Then she forgot that Daddy was gone. I remember one terrible afternoon. She looked at me with confused eyes and said, "Where's Karen? I want Karen." Even when she couldn't remember what day it was, she remembered who her favorite was. I should have been angry, but I just kept showing up. I kept holding her hand through the confusion. I kept being there. Because that's what you do for people you love, even when they don't love you back the same way. But I'd be lying if I said it didn't hurt. Mama passed away on October 3rd, 2024. She was 87 years old. I was with her at the end, holding her hand, telling her it was okay to let go. Telling her I loved her, even though I wasn't sure she knew who I was anymore. Karen arrived 2 hours after Mama was gone. She walked into the hospice room with her designer purse and her perfect makeup, and she started crying like she'd lost her best friend. "Oh, Mama," she sobbed. "Oh, my sweet Mama." I wanted to scream. Where were you? Where were you for 9 years? But I said nothing. I just sat there, numb, while Karen made the death about herself. The funeral was 3 days later. Karen insisted on speaking. She talked for 15 minutes about how close she and Mama were, how Mama always believed in her, how she was going to miss their special bond. I sat in the front row and bit my tongue until it bled. 2 weeks later, we gathered at Mr. Henderson's office for the reading of the will. Karen was already acting like she owned everything. "I've been thinking about the house," she said in the car. "Greg and I could flip it. The market's really good right now." The house. Mama's house. The house where I'd spent 9 years of my life caring for a woman who barely acknowledged me. "Don't you think we should wait to hear what the will says?" I asked quietly. Karen laughed. "Susan, please. We both know how this goes. I'm the oldest. Mama always said the house would go to me. You'll probably get the china or something." The china. 9 years of sacrifice, and I'd get the china. I didn't argue. What was the point? Karen always won. Karen always got everything. That's what I believed when we walked into Mr. Henderson's office. I was wrong. Mr. Henderson was a small man with kind eyes and gray hair. He'd handled my parents' affairs for over 30 years. He opened a folder and began reading the will. And at first, it was exactly what Karen expected. "To my eldest daughter, Karen Marie Holloway, I leave my jewelry collection and my grandmother's silver tea service." Karen nodded, looking satisfied. She was already calculating the value in her head. "To my daughter, Susan Elizabeth Marsh, I leave my collection of family photographs and my recipe box." Photographs. A recipe box? After everything I'd done? Karen smirked at me. That smirk said everything. But then Mr. Henderson closed the folder, and he pulled out another envelope. There is, however, a second document. Karen frowned. "What do you mean, a second document?" Mr. Henderson adjusted his glasses. His voice was gentle. "Your mother came to see me in January 2021, before the dementia. She was lucid and clear. She wanted to make sure her true wishes were documented, separate from the will she showed you both." He opened the envelope and began to read. "I, Dorothy Mae Richardson, being of sound mind, write this letter to accompany my true last will and testament." Karen's face went pale. "To my daughter, Karen, I leave my jewelry and silver, as stated in my public will. I know she expects more. She always expected more. But Karen, you were never there. You called on holidays, you sent flowers, but you weren't there. I know the difference between being loved and being managed." The room was completely silent. Karen's hands gripped the armrests. "To my daughter Susan, I leave everything else. The house on Birch Street, the savings account totaling $412,000, the life insurance policy, everything." I couldn't breathe. Susan was there. Every doctor's appointment, every sleepless night, every time I forgot who she was, she still showed up. She thinks I didn't notice. She thinks I loved Karen more. but a mother knows who truly loves her. And Susan, I'm sorry I never said it out loud. You were always my heart. I was just too proud to admit I'd been wrong about so many things. Tears were streaming down my face. I hope this letter finds you well, my sweet girl. You deserve everything, and I need you to know I always saw you, even when you thought I didn't. Love, Mama. Karen didn't move for a long moment. Then she exploded. "This is ridiculous," she shouted, standing up. "She had dementia. She wasn't in her right mind." Mr. Henderson remained calm. "Mrs. Holloway, this will was written in January 2021. I personally witnessed your mother's mental state. She was sharp, clear, and absolutely certain about what she wanted. I have documentation from her physician confirming her cognitive abilities at that time." "I'll contest it," Karen hissed. "I'll take this to court." "You're welcome to try." Mr. Henderson's voice was firm. "But I should warn you, your mother anticipated that. She left a video recording as well." "A video?" Mr. Henderson pulled up a file on his laptop and turned the screen toward us. And there was Mama, sitting in a chair, looking directly at the camera, clear-eyed, strong. "Karen, if you're watching this, it means you're trying to fight the will. Don't bother. I knew exactly what I was doing. I spent 40 years giving you everything because I thought that's what mothers did for their firstborn. I was wrong. Susan gave me her life. You gave me excuses. I'm fixing what I can while I still can." Mama looked directly into the camera. "Susan, I'm sorry I made you feel invisible. I'm sorry I made you feel like you weren't enough. You were always enough. You were more than enough. And I love you. I should have said it more." The video ended. Karen stood there, trembling with rage. She looked at me with pure hatred. "You manipulated her," she spat. "You turned her against me." I wiped my tears and looked at my sister, really looked at her, and for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid of her. "No, Karen, I just showed up. That's all I ever did." She grabbed her purse and stormed out. That was 8 months ago. She's tried twice to contest the will. Both attempts were thrown out immediately. She doesn't call anymore. Greg sends me emails occasionally asking if we can work something out. I delete them without responding. I sold the house on Gurge Street last spring. I couldn't live there. Too many memories, too much pain mixed with the love. But I kept Mama's recipe box, and every Sunday I make one of her recipes. Last week it was her apple pie. The crust was perfect. Tom said it tasted just like Mama's. I used some of the money to pay off our mortgage. The rest is in savings. I'm thinking about taking Tom to Ireland next year. He's always wanted to see where his grandmother was born. Karen is still angry. I hear through cousins that she tells everyone I stole her inheritance, that I brainwashed a dying woman. Sigh, let her talk. I know the truth. I spent 60 years believing I was invisible, believing I was the wrong daughter, believing I would never be enough. But Mama saw me. In the end, when it mattered most, she saw everything. Last month, I was going through the recipe box and found a note tucked behind the dividers. I almost missed it. It was in Mama's handwriting, shaky but clear. For Susan, my quiet one, my strong one, my heart. I sat at the kitchen table and cried for an hour, not because I was sad, because after 61 years, I finally knew the truth. I was always loved. I was always seen. I just had to wait for Mama to find the words.